Guys, welcome back to another video on Remember Math, where I teach math concepts from a student's point of view. Today's topic is slope. Please like and subscribe, and let's get into it. The slope of a straight line is a number that indicates how steep the line is. You can calculate the slope by dividing the vertical change, called the rise, by the horizontal change, called the run, between two distinct points on the line. Slope has 5 different definitions. Let's take a look at the first one. Number 1 is slope. Number 2 is variable m. Variable m represents slope in equations. Number 3 is rate of change. Number 5 is rise of a run, which can also be known as the y value over the x value. Our first equation is y equals mx. The slope in this equation is variable m. So, if we had the equation y equals 3/4 x, then we would rise 3 units and run 4 units. Our next equation is y equals mx plus b. Variable m is our slope, but we've introduced a new letter, b. b is our y-intercept. Whatever number that is where we start on the y-axis. In y equals 4x minus 9, we would start at negative 9 on the y-axis. And our slope in this equation is 4. Our next equation is y equals x plus b. You notice our next equation is y equals x plus b. You might notice that our variable m for slope is missing. Well, if you hadn't learned already, constant variables like x have an invisible 1 in front of it. When you have the equation y equals x plus b, then your slope is automatically going to be 1 or 1 over 1. So, in y equals x plus 7, what would our slope be? 1. What about the y-intercept? 7. Our fourth and final slope equation is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. We subtract the first y value from the second and do the same thing with the x values and then divide them. We only do this when given 2 pairs of coordinates. Let's try it out. Our first y value is 2. Our second y value is 5. So let's subtract them. 5 minus 2 equals 3. Our first x value is 4. Our second x value is 6. So 6 minus 4 is 2. Our slope is 3 over 2. There are 4 different types of slope. The first one we can learn about is a positive slope. A positive slope looks like it's going up. The second slope we can learn about is a negative slope. A negative slope looks like it's going down. The third slope we can learn about is a zero slope. The zero slope is graphed horizontally, which is side to side. Fourth and final slope we can learn about is called an undefined slope. An undefined slope looks like a vertical line, which is up to down. Let's find the slope of this positive line. We know that we find slope from 2 distinct points on a line. Make sure that you graph your points on the part of a line that is touching a corner on the grid. Let's try it out. To get from 3/4 to 7/6, we have to go up 2 units. 1, 2. So the rise is 2. Then we have to go to the side 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So the run is 4 units, which can be simplified to 1/2. So our slope is 1/2. Slope can also be written as a whole number. For example, your slope can also be written as a whole number. For example, if you rise 3 units and only run 1 unit, then it can be simplified to a whole number. So we can count the change in y, also known as the rise, and the change in x, also known as the run. Let's try it out. 1 is our rise, and 1, 2 is our run. 1/2 is our slope. Let's try finding the slope of this negative line. First, let's plot on 2 distinct points. This one is touching the corner, and so is this one. Let's find how many units we have to rise. Since this is a negative slope, we're not going to rise up to find the points, we're going to rise down. Make sure that you find out what type of slope it is before you start graphing. 1, 2 units. Our rise is going to be -2 because we went down. Now, our run, 1, 2, 3 units. So our slope is going to be -2/3. Let's try out some of these practice questions with equations. What is the slope in y equals 5/7 x minus 9? 5/7. What is the y-intercept? -9. What is the slope in y equals 2x? 2. What is the y-intercept? There is no y-intercept, so where would you start? The origin. When you start with y-intercepts in your equation, then your slope would be non-proportional. But when your equation does start at the origin, then your slope is proportional. What is the slope in y equals x plus 7? Remember, when you're dealing with y equals x, remember there's always the invisible 1 in front of the x. So the slope is 1 or 1/1. And the y-intercept is 7. So this would be non-proportional. And y equals 1/2. The slope is 1/2. And the y-intercept would be 2. Now let's calculate the slope between these coordinates. We have to do y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Our first y value is 1, and our second y value is 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Our first y value is 6, and our second y value is 7. So 7 minus 6 is 1, so our slope will be 1 or 1/1. Looking at this table, what would be our y-intercept? Well, the coordinates 0, 4 are the only ones that line up at the x-axis. The other coordinates are not on the x-axis. So whenever you're looking at the table to find the y-intercept, look for whatever y coordinate lines up with 0. Our y-intercept would be 4. Here are a few tips when doing slope. If you see a table with the x value on top and the y value on the bottom, make sure to switch it around so that the y value is on top when doing slope. Again, make sure that the y value is always on top, especially when you're doing the equation y2 minus y1. Slope for rise over run, and you get negative numbers, for example -4 and -3. Two negatives equal a positive, so your slope will come out to be a positive slope, like 4/3. But if only one of your numbers is negative, such as -4 and +3, it'll just be plain old negative slope. When slope is listed as a whole number, if you need to graph it, put a 1 under it to properly rise over run. For example, if you had a 2 and you want to rise over run, you would rise 2 and run 1 unit by putting a 1 under it. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe and tune in next time on Remember Math. Bye!